I grew up in a small country town out on a farm, and my father was a Baptist minister, so everyone called him the Reverend. So I am doing family meals. Mealtime at the Reverend's house was not just about eating, it was a time for prayer and sharing. A time to be thankful, a time to think of those less fortunate, and pray that they too would be fed. Some of the less fortunate in our area knew that the welcome mat was always out at the Reverend's house. It didn't matter if the meal was fried chicken, potato salad, collard greens, cornbread, and don't forget the sweet potato pie or the deep dish apple or peach cobbler. Or perhaps it was just a big pot of fresh black-eyed peas, ham hocks with lots of long green pods of succulent okra, and of course, baked cornbread oozing with fresh churned country butter. My mother always cooked enough to have leftovers. During the summer months, we often had fried green tomatoes, and during the winter months, there were lots of baked or roasted sweet potatoes. When I say roasted sweet potatoes, I mean the ones you put in the fireplace in the hot ashes and roast. I am getting so hungry, so I will stop here. Although my mom and dad is no longer around, there are still some of my family offsprings that's carrying on the tradition. This is a paper that I wrote when I was in high school, and that was in 1943. The title is The Negro in War. In a world at war today, millions of Negroes are crucified at the sound of cannons in the heights of the air, in tanks and with bayonets. The Negro youth of the whole world takes up his cross. We here on the home front have our days exempted from danger. But the soldiers on the battlefields and in different camps have every moment to fear. We still have our carefree hours, but the soldiers have no moments without danger. Our beloved nation is engaged in a second world war. Across the 7 seas, the broad stripes and bright stars of the flag we love leads a nation of free men who fight to preserve the ideals we hold so dear. It has been truly said, the keystone of victory is the American home. The forthright courage of our armed forces originates in the home, which sends men forth to battle. They reflect the spirit and fortitude of American mothers who now give so freely of their all that freedom may endure. When Major General Jacob L. Denvers, Chief of the Armed Force of the U.S. Army, on December 23, 1941, uttered these words, "For the preservation of America, the soldiers and sailors guarding our outposts are giving their lives. In death, there is no grade or rank. And in this, the greatest democracy the world has ever known, neither riches nor poverty, neither creed nor race draws a line of demarcation in this hour of national crisis." He spoke for the hearts and intelligence of all liberty-loving Americans. He was dedicating a parade ground at Fort Knox, Kentucky, in honor of Private Robert H. Brooks, a Negro soldier who was first to give his life in this global war. Private Brooks died at Fort Statutenberg in the Philippines on December 8, 1941. Robert Brooks and Dory Miller were the first of an ever-growing band of young men, living and dead, whose deeds are as constant reminders. Mrs. Mary McLeod Bethune was right when she said that for Negro Americans in this war, it must be all out or it will soon be all over. Ben Edward Holt also was one of the messmen attendants, first class, and the first Tennessean to give his life at Pearl Harbor. Julian Ellsbury, who lived in Jefferson County, Alabama, was a mess attendant, second class. He was the first Alabamian to give his life in the sneak attack 2 years ago. Leonard Roy Harmon was a sailor. He was awarded the Navy Medal. Charles Jackson French was also a sailor and a mess attendant. He was a Southerner from Foreman, Arkansas. America's soldiers and sailors are no longer guarding our outposts, but today they are taking the fight to the enemies. Sergeant Joe Louis, the heavyweight champion of the world, risked his title in boxing to fight for a victorious peace. If all Americans were to wake up tomorrow and uncover a plot hatched on our own soil for the decimation of our army, on whose banners rest our hopes for an independent future, Negroes would rise up in righteous wrath to put down the scheme. With just such indignation, Americans must now attack segregation and discrimination and their bitter fruits in the armed forces. For the system persistently denies the Negro serviceman the use of the most potent weapon of war, high morale, and its effect on white soldiers and the whole civilian population is no less damaging, because Jim Crow strengthens old prejudices, inculcates new ones, and creates friction where none exist. American youth on the home front has a job to do. The task remains for public opinion to demand an irresistible fight that America's two armies be made one, that our fighting men and women be freed of the blight of segregation and discrimination, while millions of mothers, fathers, wives, loved ones, sisters, and brothers stand at the very foot of the cross on which their relatives are nailed. How do they bear it? This is no question to be asked. They bear it by the help of the Almighty God, who has all power in his hand. They bear it by strength and vision granted by us here at home. So we must work hard, speak low, and tread softly as we help to fight this mighty battle. Add no more weight to the heavy hearts everywhere. Though our faces may be black and we often meet with scorn, but we are going to fight on till our victory is won. In the present conflict, the Negro sentiment is well expressed by the Negro National Anthem, written by James Weldon Johnson. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over the way that with tears have been watered. We have come treading our paths through the blood of the slaughtered, out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. Well, this paper was written by Major Sullivan Ballou to his wife a week before his death in 1861. Sarah, if the dead can come back to this earth and flit unseen around those they loved, I shall always be near you. In the gladdest days and in the darkest nights, always, always. And if there be a soft breeze upon your cheek, it shall be my breath, as the cool air fans your throbbing temple. It shall be my spirit passing by. Sarah, do not mourn me dead. Think I am gone, and wait for thee, for we shall meet again.